Next up on our tiki journey is this little beauty. This is a spoiler alert now. This is definitely something that I think you need to add to your tiki repertoire. There is, at face value, there is a couple of things you could change, but the actual recipe itself, what I've made, I don't think you need to change it. I'm just saying there's a couple of changes that I kind of talk through at the end of the video that you could use to amplify this cocktail even more. But this, for the time being, we are still on Beachbum Berries Remixed, and we're on page 84 of this. As I say, for series 2, I still want to hear from you guys. So I'm collating a list from the previous videos so far, but keep those tiki suggestions coming in. The little known tiki cocktails that don't get mentioned at all. So not Mai Tais, not zombies, not anything like that. You know, pina coladas, painkillers, nothing like that. I want the lesser known tiki cocktails that you love so we can kind of try. So this is page 84. This is actually kind of a famous cocktail. This is the QB Cooler. And the reason why it's famous is it's reportedly where Trader Vic went to visit Don the Beachcomber at his bar and kind of took this recipe away to recreate his Mai Tai. This is not a Mai Tai. It doesn't taste like a Mai Tai, but oh my God, it's good. Now for the original way to serve this up, the recipe does call for a double old-fashioned glass, which would roughly be about 12 ounces, give or take, or a Mai Tai glass, obviously. But I'm going to use this. This is my mate Kishwa. This is actually a little bit smaller, so I might have a little bit left over, but about 9.5 ounces. I thought the other tiki glasses I've got are a little bit too big. You know, they're 14, 16, 18 ounces. So I'm going for this little beast. But this is a flash blended cocktail. You guys in the UK, link will be in the description below to find out. But yeah, so flash blended cocktail, and we've got very specific with the ice here, but let's dive into the recipe. So the first one we've got is 30 ml of freshly squeezed orange juice. So 1 ounce of that. Just pop that down there out of the way. We're going for lime juice next, 15 ml, half an ounce of lime juice. Lovely. Honey mix. Now, honey mix, it's that one. Honey mix, I just use honey syrup from Monin. Honey mix essentially is 2 parts honey to 1 part water to make it even more runny honey. So easier to manipulate. If you just add honey to a cocktail shaker, it's just going to sit and cling to the bottom of the glass. It's not going to blend in. So you kind of do need a honey mix or a honey syrup. I can't be bothered to make my own, so I just buy Monin's honey syrup here. So 15 ml, half an ounce of that, which will be absolutely perfect. Let's just clean up as we go along. So put that behind me. The next ingredient should be falernum, I do believe. 7.5 ml, half an ounce of falernum. There are so many different falernums on the market. Well, there's not so many, but there's 6 in the UK that I know of. I just stick to the syrup. Falernums are liqueurs, but they have got quite a lot of sweetness to them. So there's loads of different ones out there. The 3 that I've sort of loosely got, or 4 if you include ODK syrup as well, is obviously this, the ODK, JD Taylor's falernum, and then Velvet, what's it called? I forget what it's called now. It's sort of tucked away up the back there. The Bitter Truth falernum. I think it's Velvet falernum or Golden falernum or something, but it's got more of a ginger kick to it. So there's so many different ways you could do this. But I'm going for this 7.5 ml, a quarter of an ounce of falernum syrup. I just love this. I really do love that. Fall in love with that. Right, so for there, if we go 30 ml of soda water or seltzer water to you guys in the US. So 30 ml, 1 ounce of soda water in there. Next up, right, now we're going for the rums, and I'll talk you through my choices of rums here. The book says, and I've even got the page open here, it does say Gold Jamaican rum. My first thought was Appleton 8-year-old for this, so I was going that kind of direction, but then I thought, you know what? I kind of want to try this with a little bit of that funk element to it. And, you know, while Appleton is lovely, I don't class them as funky rums. I class them as like lovely, proper Jamaican rums. So you get that sort of element of banana, of pineapple, of coconut coming out there. But when I want funk, it's either Smith & Cross, or I really like this rum bar. It's cheap as chips, but I really do like this. So we're going for 30 ml of, essentially it's Worthy Park, but rum bar, gold rum from Jamaica. So we've got that. We've got Puerto Rico rum. Now, let me put this. I probably would go probably the sort of younger. I haven't got, this is the youngest one I've got apart from the Cristal. I was thinking in my head, we did want a sort of a loosely aged or a gold rum from there. This is the youngest one I'm going to get. I'm going to definitely go down the Don Q rabbit hole and get some more and try some more. But for the time being, this is what I've got here. So I'm going for 30 ml of a Puerto Rican rum. There, lovely. Still got a little bit left in there. Maybe another cocktail out of that. Now, and then 15 ml of Demerara rum. Now, I've fallen in love with this. Eldorado 8-year-old, Eldorado 12-year-old, another go-to. I've absolutely fallen in love with this. I love the extra sort of rich oomph this brings to cocktails. It's only 40% ABV. You know, it's not higher ABV or anything like that, but it's just got this lovely, rich Demerara vibe. So 15 ml, half an ounce of Skipper. Lovely. Skipper, I was going to call it the other one then. I need to OVD. I was thinking that. Someone mentioned that in a comment the other day. I need to get OVD and what's is it? It's something else that we need to try. So 15 ml of that. 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. 1, 2, there we go. Commit to the dash. And then half a teaspoon of ginger syrup. So a teaspoon is roughly about a bar spoon. A bar spoon is roughly about 5 ml, so half of that, 2.5 ml roughly of ginger. Now, this ODK one is really fun. It's completely different to Monin. Really, really feisty in ginger. There is sweetness to it, but not as sweet as Monin's, all right? So this really does bring like extra ginger heat. Love this. So about half a bar spoon, 2.5 ml here. I'm not convinced 2.5 ml is actually going to do that much damage, but we shall see. And then it's 4 ounces of crushed ice. So, yeah, about that. I might do a little bit more, but about that. And then it's a flash blend, 5 or 6 seconds. Perfect. Now, I don't really think you need to see this one in a glass. There's no colour to it. It's just going to get served up how it is. So I might dispense with that in the future videos, like showing you what it looks like in a glass, because I just love serving them straight in tiki glasses. But open gated pour is the posh term. Blend and dump is the Steve the Barman Cornish chav speak. Oh, look at that. It's nearly about perfect size as well. Ordinarily, I would have crowned that with a bit more crushed ice, but that's near enough perfect in there. And then to garnish, stick with, I've got something a bit special. So we've got some mint coming up. And I spoke to my good friends at Nurtured in Norfolk, who drink stuff used for lots of dried flowers. We sell lots of dried stuff from Nurtured in Norfolk. But I've bought these. They've not sent me, so these are not gifted or anything. I reached out to them and said, look, you don't have it on your website, but I would love some sort of hibiscus flowers or something like that. So they have put together, you can buy sort of variety, pick and mix sort of packs that they'll put together, but they asked for what sort of flowers you'd like. I said basically big and bold, and look what they've sent me for here. So this one's, I've had my eye on this one for quite a while. We are gonna sort of garnish with lovely little hibiscus flower. Look at that. That sets your cocktails off a treat, doesn't it? That is beautifully balanced. I wasn't sure what to expect from this cocktail. There are ways you could change it. I wouldn't want to change it, but I think, for instance, if you dispense with that Puerto Rican rum and actually added extra oomph with the Jamaican rum, I think that might give you a lovely, rich kind of Jamaican vibes. I think I'm just crying out for a bit. Or you could have used the Smith & Cross instead of the Rum Bar. Even though the Rum Bar Gold has got a little bit of funk to it, more than the Appleton, I think something like a bit more punchy like Smith & Cross might have been a good shout in this. But this is delicious. I get the honey, I get the orange, the bitters work beautifully well in there. I get those there's a little bit of layered vibe there from the Demerara rum. The falernum isn't lost. Do I get the ginger? Probably not, but that's because the falernum I use is quite punchy in spice anyway. So perhaps if you use the Monin falernum, you might not need the ginger syrup or anything like that. If you use something like JD Taylor's Velvet falernum, then you probably wouldn't. Golden falernum, that's what it's called for the bitter truth, golden falernum. But if you use something like JD Taylor's velvet falernum, you wouldn't need the ginger. And if you used Bitter Truth's golden falernum, you definitely wouldn't need the ginger in this. This is exquisite. I love this. Definitely one to add to your tiki menus.